Hi guys, Ray here from City Fan TV, and I'm joined by the bald beauty that is Bernardini. How you doing, mate?
Well, I agree with the bald bit. I'm not too sure about the other bit. Perhaps that's beast, the bald beast. That's better. Yeah. I think we got one of them though, haven't we? In the chase, I think someone's called the beast. So I can't take that. I can't get copyright on that one.
Beast. Well, I'm calling you the bald beast. Anyway, guys. International break. We're doing various different videos to help fill the time, talk City, talk and chit chat. And today's video is about Pep Guardiola and what will the future of Manchester City be when Pep finally decides to move on. Give you some background. This, if I remember correctly, is Pep's 8th season at City. Is that right, Bernard? You know better than me, I'm sure. It is. You're gonna see if we'd done our research, we'd know, but it is his 8th season. He's finishing after 9.
Yeah, I mean, the end of his contract would take him to the end of 9, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So that's got one more season to go. So, well, this and next season. So he's been here plenty of times. Originally, he came to stay for 3 seasons. He's extended to 5, to 7, to 9. Who's to say that's going to be it? But every time he extends, you think, wow, yeah, but that will be it. There'll be no more. But I've always said, where else can he go? Where else
England.
Can he go? No, he's not fit. Where else can he go that will, for a club side, that will give him what he gets at City? I think a national manager is not interested because he wants that daily involvement. You see how much he's involved. So he wants that continuous daily grind sometimes, but he doesn't see it as that. So
it would allow him to play his golf more and things, though, wouldn't it? Now he's got his back sorted out, or
I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that at all. There's nowhere that he can go in the world. Forget
he's got a beautiful wife, golf, and England. I mean, I can't. I'll be honest with you, mate. I mean, I'm sort of throwing us under the bus here, but I can see that as a great future myself.
Not England, Spain. Spain manager. I can never see me an England manager. Really, because
it's a challenge, mate. You're taking a challenge. Why not?
Well, yeah, he can't do any worse than Gareth Southgate, can he? So,
how old is he? How old is he now? Have you got his age?
Pep. He's a bit younger than me, Pep. So, obviously I look about 45, but Pep's 52.
Right.
So he's got plenty of time. I don't think he should take an international manager's job for another 3 or 4 years at least.
Yeah.
But so Pep keeps extending at City. As I said, there's nowhere else that will give him the authority that he's got, give him the ownership structure that he's got, though they don't really interfere. And basically, he's got his mates, Ferran Soriano, Chico Begiristain, and others, and he can do whatever he wants. He does rule the roost. But we've seen at other clubs when they've had a manager for a long time, and we're talking about recent history, and we've seen how they struggled. We've seen how Man United struggled after Ferguson left. They've been a shambles both on and off the pitch pretty much ever since. They've flirted with being semi-good again. When Mourinho was there, he did get them to second in the league. He did win them some silverware. Even Eric Ten Bob Note got them the Carabao Cup last season. But basically, United have been on a big decline. Ferguson in his last season, I think he dragged them over the line, because they weren't a great side. And he dragged them over the line, and then he went, that's it, I'm gone. But you could see the signs of them cracking. Already you could see the cracks just about as big as the ones in the roof at the stadium. Arsenal had the same problem when Wenger left, but you could already see
the same problem while he was there. But
you see they had problems on the pitch and off the pitch at the same time with the owners, and they had problems on the pitch with Wenger because you could see them just sliding, getting worse and worse and worse. The fans were getting worse and worse and worse. The ownership. The owners were, Kroenke and whatever. It's not been very good. So they've really struggled. And it's taken them a long time to bounce back. It looks like they're finally on the right road with Arteta. And I think they're going to do all right this season. You could look at last season and think, were they one-hit wonders? I think they showed enough resilience and power this season to keep up there. I'm not saying they're going to win the league, but I think they'll be up there fighting for a good part of the season. But you've seen the problems it causes losing someone with so much power. Pep's got a lot of power. Do you think, and he tries to get his hands involved with the medical side, he had arguments of Bayern over this, the doctor left because of Pep. Do you worry a little bit that because Pep has got his tentacles everywhere, that a new person might not want to have his tentacles everywhere, or might not be able to do what Pep's doing, and we end up with some gaps? Do you worry? Well, yeah, let's not say when Pep will leave, but do you worry that when he leaves, we're going to have problems?
I don't think you can worry about it, mate. You have to accept that you've got the best manager, one of the best managers ever in the world. And the thing is, when this best manager in the world decides that he wants to do something else, he'll move on, and we'll have to make the best of it. And I do worry because it won't be as good as what we've got at the moment. I think we could have done better. I know it sounds daft. I think perhaps we could have done better. We could have won 2 or 3 FA Cups more than we've won. That's been a bit churlish. We probably could have won a Champions League or 2 more than we've won. Yeah, so I think we could have done better. There's no reason why there isn't someone out there at the moment who can, perhaps take us to a different level, not a higher level, but a different way of doing things.
So what you're saying, Pep has failed to deliver? Is that what you're saying?
He's delivered over and above what we all wanted, mate. All I'm saying is Pep is so special that he probably in himself, and it's a good thing because he might want to aim better. He might want to aim for better still, and it might. They say there's big rumours on the internet as I'm recording this today that he's looking for a new house and he's open to stay even longer. But say it's just rumours. We don't, it's what it is. His family's getting older. Obviously, I know he has that unusual relationship with his wife where she stays over in Spain, doesn't she? And he's over here, stuff like this. But so it may not be a problem that we might have to face for another 3 or 4 years, or 5 years even, or someone saying 10 years. But it's not the Glazers, it's not that we're not that lucky. But you can't replace him. You can't replace him. All you can do is rely. The thing, it's the backup team as well, isn't it? It's cheeky, as you mentioned. It's the other guys. It's that whole team, and the whole team move. That is gonna be a bit of a problem for us. It's bound to be a problem.
When you look at his family life, obviously we're not party to everything that goes on, but there was talk his wife and his youngest daughter, were bored in Manchester because Pep was always working, and the older boys or the older kids had moved on. They were in university, whatever. They moved on with their life. Now his youngest daughter, she's moving on with her life. And actually, sometimes I think about it. His wife being left alone in Manchester while Pep's in Manchester but working all over. Because Pep's a workaholic. That would have been tough. Now she's in Barcelona. You have that separation. The only separation is the distance. But she's got her own life as well. So with her own friends and family and whatever. And maybe that's good for a relationship. It's good not to sometimes be on everybody's toes or, trampling all over people. And if Pep's not going to be there, well, she might as well be off there. So I can see that working in some ways. You've heard of relationships where people are thousands of miles away and they say, hey, it worked brilliant because we miss each other. When we get together, it's fantastic. But if you spend too much time with people, it can tread on toes and stuff. So I think the personal side, I think if there was a problem, it would have presented itself by now, and it would have been something would have happened. So, and as I said earlier, there's no other place that Pep can look at. He's not going to go anywhere in England. He's not going to go back to Barcelona. He's not going to go back to. He's not going back to Germany. He wouldn't go to Italy because I think the thing is, it just take too long. If you went to someone like Juventus or Inter, it would take too long for him to challenge. When he went to Bayern, they challenged immediately. When he came to City, immediate challenge. We had one dodgy season, and then bang, we're winning everything. Where else can he go? Would he go to PSG? I'm not so sure. That's the only other place where I think he can go and he can immediately challenge.
PSG is a unique one, isn't it? I mean, we can say we won the Champions League now, but they just throw money at everything, and behind the scenes, they probably haven't got the right personnel, unfortunately, to actually take them to that to do that level that we've had the benefit of, and they should be able to, because say the money they've spent over the years, we've probably talked about it on here. I mean, you talk about FFP, you sometimes wonder how the hell PSG have just spent for years. We get all the flack and teams like that. We get group with them, don't we? Us and PSG, as though it's us that are ruining football and all this sort of thing over the years. But as far as a challenge, could he live? I mean, the actual league itself, all right, he could get him to a Champions League and win a Champions League for him, but he wouldn't want that league football week in, week out. It's just not challenging enough, is it?
Yeah, absolutely. I can't, as I said, I can't say it many times. I can't see anything else but City. The challenge right now is to get that fourth title on the trot, because no one's done it. And if you get that, the challenge then is to get that fifth one, which, I'm sorry, no other team in our lifetimes is going to beat 5. If we don't get 4 and 5 and then beat it to get 6, no one else is going to come close. Because Ferguson could only manage 3. Very rare has anybody got 3. To get 4 or 5 would just be incredible. There's not many more records left in Premier League football in terms of its club. What could we do more? Well, all right, we could win the 4th league title. We could win we could go undefeated throughout the league campaign. We could win all the trophies on offer. So you win the league, the Champions League, Carabao Cup, or the League Cup, and the FA Cup all in one season. That would be new heights that I just can't see anybody. We're talking about levels of football that no one's achieved ever. And it would be unique achievements. That's all that's left. I hope he doesn't end up feeling it's a grind.
There's no sign of that yet, is there? I mean, at the end of the day, now he's had a bit of a rest as well. That'll recharge in the same way KDB's got to be recharged by having 3 or 4 months off. Pep probably gets the same effect from having 2 or 3 weeks off because of how he does things. So, he will be revigorated. He's got new players there that he's not had a chance to work with yet that have joined the club, that he's not had a chance to really get to grips with, even the guys that have played for him so far, as well as the ones that have just joined. And as you say, he's still got targets at the moment. So, again, I've often said that this is it now. He's going blah, blah, blah. And I've obviously been proved wrong time and time again. So I'm not going to say anything this time about that. Just to say that I think certainly the next 18 months, he'll be aiming for the stars. And then after that, we'll have to see. Yeah. But as you say, it won't be easy, mate. Will it ever be? It's not going to be an easy thing to do, and it's not just Pep, as I said. It's the back room, it's the people, it's the other guys as well.
It's Sheikh Mansour, it's Khaldun Al-Mubarak, it's Cheeky Begerison, it's Ferran Soriano. Look, I guessed Pep's last contract extension. I said I thought he was going to stay. It just felt like that. The one before that, I think I guessed that. When the time comes, it will just be trying to read between the lines again to see what he'll do. He had that sabbatical when he left Barcelona, and I bet you he missed football. He enjoyed the sabbatical, but I bet you because he's not missed any football ever since. And I think, although it might look enticing, it might be something that he doesn't want to go. You don't want a year off. Maybe, like you say, having this, he's not had 2 weeks off because he's still involved, but he's not involved as much. And maybe that's going to help him recharge his batteries a little bit and come back firing. So, we come back, after the international break of firing Pep, hopefully in January, of firing KDB. Everybody's pushing. It's probably something to look forward to. And in the back of my mind, I just think as long as we've got Cheeky and Ferran and Khaldun and Sheikh Mansour, if Pep does go, we'll only be getting a top-class manager.
Okay. Yes. I mean, if they all went, all right, the owner's not going to go, hopefully, is he, mate? He's not going to give up on us, is he? He's not going to get bored. But, we can only believe we've got to do the right things. And it may be Pep goes and then the other 2 guys hang on for 2 or 3 years and bring through something else and obviously get the new manager, then bring a new system, new management system in, if you like, for the future. But,
that's where United fell down.
We do things the right way at the moment. We do make the odd cock up, of course we do, but we can only assume we're going to carry on doing things the right way.
It's another good point that you made there. I mean, 2 in a day. I mean, I can't believe it. But that's why United messed up, because Ferguson and David Gill left.
Yeah.
And I think if David Gill had stayed for another 1 or 2 years, United's decline wouldn't have been so evident and so dramatic. But they lost 2 important key figures at the same time. I think if Pep does go, as long as the rest of the chain.
I mean, they might, in theory, they might go before Pep goes, but I can't see it because it's a unit, it's a team. But they say once Pep decides, right, I'm going, you might get the other guys thinking, oh well, we'll go as well. But you would hope that they've still got enough in them. I mean, Cheeky gets enough stick off City fans, only on social media anyway. That I would have bogged off bloody years ago if I was him, because of all the insults he gets. But he's probably got a broad skin, tough skin anyway, so he's not too worried about that.
Everything. Most of the decisions are right, and you're still not happy. There's one Mancunian phrase that Cheeky Begaristan needs to learn and needs to use it on a regular basis for these fans, and it's do one. That's it. That's what he needs to learn. Do one. But well, there you go. There you go, guys. That's a little video on Pep and what the future might hold for Pep. I think by the time you watch this video, Bernard will be sunning himself on his holidays. And I wish you well.
I sun myself here, mate. Could have saved myself a few quid, but hey, I wouldn't have missed the West Ham game. I would have been going to the London Stadium for the second time in the last 3 years.
Wow, I mean, luxuries to go to the London Stadium.
It's horrible, isn't it? It is horrible to watch football there. So I'm not that bothered, really.
I've been a couple of times. I think I've been a couple of times to watch.
Horrible. Certainly the top bit. I've never been in the bottom bit. I've only been in the top half.
I can't remember.
It's horrible. It's horrible to watch.
It's a drag to get there. I remember I did some filming near there once, and I had to walk past. I could have got a taxi or whatever, but I decided to walk for it. It was about an hour from where my hotel was to the studios that we were filming. It was I think we were filming for Channel 4. That Robbie Lyle, Robbie from AFTV, his late night show on Channel 4 from about 4 or 5 years ago, and I just remember walking past the London Stadium. And I've been there. It looks good from a distance, but once you're up close and personal, it doesn't have enough soul. But hey, I think the West Ham fans are making enough noise now. That's going to be a humdinger of a game, top of the table clash. And anybody, I'm looking for a ticket. I'm going to try and get myself down. I've got a job in Bolton the next day, but I'm going to try and get down to West Ham if I can, and do some recording for you guys. Thanks a lot, Bernard, and go off and enjoy your hauls. And you guys, if you've stayed to the end of this video, I say thank you. And if you are new to the channel, if you can subscribe and hit that bell icon so you're notified as soon as new videos come out, give us a thumbs up. See you around, Blues.